Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn German Dheere Dheere. I hope you all watched my previous video of German separable verbs part 1. Today I am here with the second part of German separable verbs. So let's get started. Before moving forward, let's do a quick recap of the part 1. In part 1 of this video we studied German separable verbs. So what are these separable verbs? In German language, you can build a new verb by adding a prefix to a base verb. This changes the meaning of the verb entirely. For example, when we add the prefix ab to the verb fahren, it results in a separable verb called abfahren, which means to depart. The golden rule that we have to follow is that in a simple sentence or in the present tense, the prefix splits off and moves all the way to the end of the sentence. For example, when we are using abfahren in a sentence in a present tense, der Zug fährt ab, which means the train is departing. In this case, you would notice that the prefix ab came to the end of the sentence. Another example is aufmachen, which means to open. Ich mache die Tür auf. Ich mache die Tür auf, which means I open the door. Here also you would notice that the prefix auf is placed at the end of the sentence. Here we have the list of the prefixes which are always in the separable form. These prefixes always split from the verb and have their own meaning. Ab, an, auf, aus, ein, mit, nach, vor, zu, heim. Apart from these separable prefixes, we also have the prefixes which are always inseparable. These 9 prefixes are stuck like glue. They never split from the verb and have no meaning on their own. Be, ent, amp, er, ge, hinter, miss, fair, zer. Let's look at some examples. Er bestellt eine heiße Suppe. Bestellen means to order something. Er bestellt eine heiße Suppe. Empfehlen, which means to recommend. Er empfiehlt dieses spannende Buch, which means he recommends this exciting book. Begeben, which means to proceed or to go. Ich begebe mich jetzt nach Hause, which means I am starting going home. Beschreiben, which means to describe. Dieses Gefühl ist sehr schwer zu beschreiben, which means this feeling is very difficult to describe. Now, this is where it gets confusing. These prefixes can be used as separable as well as inseparable prefixes. Durch, über, unter, wieder, wieder. These prefixes can be separable or inseparable depending on the meaning. Let's look at a classic example of this case. Umfahren. We have this umfahren in a separable form as well as inseparable form. When it means run over, it is being used as the separable form. Er fährt das Schild which means he runs over the sign. When we are using it in an inseparable form, which means driving around, er umfährt das Schild, which means he drives around the sign. You will notice that the same prefix has been used as separable as well as inseparable form. Similarly, the prefix wieder and über can also be used as separable or inseparable prefixes. Das findest du nie wieder, which means you will never find it again. Here you would notice that the prefix wieder came at the end of the sentence, indicating that this is being used as a separable prefix. Wiederholt sich, which means he repeats himself. Wiederholen means to repeat himself or herself. So here you would notice that this prefix wieder is being used as a inseparable prefix. Das Boot kippte über, which means the boat overturned. Here you would notice that the prefix über is being used at the end of the sentence, indicating that it is being used as a separable prefix. Ich übersetze das Buch. Here you would notice that it is being used along with this stem form. Übersetze. Übersetzung means translation. Here you would notice that it is being used as an inseparable prefix. The split rule. So these are the rules that we use for the separable verbs. First rule is the split rule. In the present tense, simple past and imperative, the prefix separates from the verb and it moves to the very end of the sentence. Let's look at it with the example of the verb aufgeben, which means to give up. ये जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं हार मान जाना, aufgeben, give up, to give up. In the present tense, it is used in this form. Ich gebe auf, which means I give up. In the simple past, it is used in this form. Ich gab auf, which means I gave up. Imperative, which means giving orders. Gib auf, which means give up. Now, the GE sandwich or the ge sandwich. When forming the past participle, which is used in the perfect tense, the prefix does not split to the end. Instead, the word ge is inserted between the prefix and the verb stem. जब हमारे पास में perfect tense होता है, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि कोई चीज को complete कर लिया, उस केस में हम इस verb के बीच में ge insert कर देते हैं. So, for example, aufgeben is the word. Aufgeben, which means give up. In this case, we insert ge in the middle of the word, immediately after the prefix. Here we have the example. Ich habe aufgegeben. Ich habe aufgegeben. Gegeben. It means I have given up. So here we have the perfect tense. I have given up. Ich habe aufgegeben. So the verb aufgeben became aufgegeben. Aufgegeben, because we inserted ge in the middle of the verb. Another example. Wir haben das Paket abgegeben. We delivered the package. Abgeben means to deliver. And here, since we are using it in a perfect tense, it became abgegeben. The third rule, or the sandwich rule. Zu constructions. So, like in English, we have the word or the phrase called in order to. या जैसे हम हिंदी में कहते हैं किसी के लिए या किसी चीज को करने के लिए. Similarly, in German, we have the phrase zu. And whenever we have this case, the word zu is inserted right into the middle of the verb. It goes between the prefix and the verb stem. And all these three parts form one single verb or one single word. Prefix plus zu and the stem form. For example, the base verb heimfahren, which means to go home, it becomes heimzufahren or in order to go home. Here we have an example of it. Ich kaufe ein Fahrrad, damit heimzufahren. Ich kaufe eine Fa ich kaufe ein Fahrrad, damit heimzufahren. Which means I buy a bike in order to ride it home. Here you would notice that first we had this and after that heimfahren became heimzufahren, which means in order to. Ich kaufe ein Fahrrad, damit heimzufahren. Another example, ausdenken, which means to come up with. This this verb becomes auszudenken. An example of this is wir warten, uns einen Plan auszudenken, which means we wait in order to come up with a plan. Here we have the complete cheat sheet of the separable verbs. How do we identify the separable verbs? First step is the pronunciation stress. If the stress is on prefix, it indicates that it is a separable verb. Whereas if the stress is on stem form, it indicates that it is an inseparable verb. Second step is to check the meaning. Does the prefix allow a standalone verb or a standalone word? For example, ab, an, auf. It indicates that it is a separable verb. These prefixes ab, an, auf, aus, ein, mit, nach, vor, zu, these are always in the separable form. Whereas the prefixes be, ent, emp, er, ge, fer, zer, mis, these are always in the inseparable form. Whereas we have some prefixes which can be separable as well as inseparable. Durch, über, unter, wieder, and so on. And when do these verbs split? These verbs split in the present, simple past, and in the imperative form. The past participle, we have to insert ge in the middle when we have the perfect tense. Aufgegeben, which means to give up. And last but not least, when we have the form of in order to, like we use in English, then in those cases we use and zu to indicate that we are doing something in order to do some other thing. Now let us test our knowledge with the help of some quizzes. This verb is separable or not? Abfahren, which means to depart. This was our very first example, which is a separable verb. Richtig, which means correct. The prefix ab is always separable. Der Zug fährt ab. Separable or not? Verstehen. Ver, ver or fair is never separable. So it means it is not separable. Richtig. It has no meaning on its own. Einschlafen. We know that ein is a separable prefix. So let's select this option. Richtig. Correct. Beschreiben. This is also inseparable. Richtig. The prefix be is an inseparable prefix. Umfahren. It is a separable prefix. Now let us complete this sentence. Der Zug kommt pünktlich am Bahnhof. Der Zug kommt pünktlich am Bahnhof. Here we have the verb uncommon, which means to arrive. And here we have this un prefix. So we are going to select this one. Es ist kalt. Hast du das Fenster aufgemacht? The verb that we will using that the verb that we are using is aufmachen, which means to open, and we are using it in the perfect tense. So we will be using the aufgemacht. Ich gehe zum Markt, Obst mitzubringen. Obst means vegetables. So the meaning of this sentence is I am going to the market in order to bring the vegetables. This is the and zu form. Morgens blank ich immer 6 Uhr auf. So here we have the verb called aufstehen, which means to get up. So we have the form stehe. So friends, it is time to end the video. I hope you learned a lot from my video. प्लीज़ आप लोग देखते रहिए मेरे चैनल और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मेरे चैनल से जुड़ने के लिए. Tschüss.